about to go down.
It's lovely pass, and here he turns cleverly. Can he find a finish? Oh, he can!
Skill by Joshua, and a return right hand. Good counter right. Bullen is hurt. Second right hand. That clipped him as well. Now he goes in for the kill.
Well, Ricciardo is inching into the lead, and Ricciardo that win the Italian Grand Prix!
Iguodala running the floor.
Still leading the way with Canada in there too, with the Netherlands.
And Musa makes it 4 goals in 2 World Cup matches.
The Monaco Grand Prix! Ricciardo triumphant in Monza.
Through Bowden Barrett and an early touch and an excellent.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Good evening and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Sports Orbit coming to you from the Leadership Podcast Studio. Of course, we are starting this episode of Sports Orbit on a happy and exciting note, and of course, the reason is not far-fetched. My name is Afa Acho, your host for today, and of course, I'm here with Salifu Usman, my regular partner on this program. Salifu, welcome to Sports Orbit once again, and of course, I see you're looking all very cheerful. I know the reason for your cheerfulness.
Well, I think you know more than I do. Well, it's not like good to be back on the stage again. And just like you say, we are starting on a very happy mood. And not just for the whole Nigeria, the country, it's a happy mood. For no other reason, for that we did a very important match yesterday. And just like yesterday, two of us were in agreement that Super Eagles would definitely come out top on that match and do the applications. Congratulations to Nigerians.
All right, before we go into that properly, a game just ended today, to the game between Mali and Tunisia, and that one ended 1-0 in favor of Mali. The game came from the penalty spot, and Mali have taken all 3 points in that one. The Tunisians also had a chance to make it level, but the Malian keeper had other plans. He saved that penalty brilliantly, and the game ended 1-0 in favor of Mali. Salifu, briefly, the Malians came out, played a better game than the Tunisians, took all 3 points, but towards the end of the game, the match was a bit controversial.
Well, it's quite unfortunate that sometimes in African continents, things often happen different to what obtained in other times. But I'm here to understand why the referee decided to end the game before the regulation time.
Exactly.
But the regulation time of every football match is 90 minutes.
At least 90 minutes.
At least 90 minutes. But unfortunately, we don't know. The 90 minutes is less than it's about 15 seconds to the 90 minutes, and they end the match. And we can see how the Tunisian officials were very furious about that decision, and they think the intervention of the 17th. They were able to guide them the match was all completely different because they are another teams. And what we are trying to say that African, we shouldn't would like ourselves in a bad image to the world. This is football. This match is being to the whole world. By the CAF statistic, over 150 countries are watching this match, every match live across the globe. And what they want to see is this kind of embarrassment. Whatever I am here to understand, except CAF come out clearly and explain to everybody on what rule are there that the referee has to end the match 15 seconds.
All right, we'll go into that properly. As we all know, we are beginning off with the game against Nigeria versus Egypt yesterday. Against all odds, while we're even having this program, a few comments that we had on the program all predicted doom for Nigeria. Nigerians were scared simply because of a certain Mo Salah. But just like the commentator rightly said yesterday, we had a Moses Simon, and Like in the days of old, it's in the Bible, he said Moses had always been a problem to the Egyptians. And yesterday was no different. Moses was the tormentor in chief to the Egyptians. Salifu, what do you make of that game?
Yeah, fantastic game. And I commended those days also Serazo, particularly known as Serazo.
Yeah.
Nobody gave me the chance.
all.
I particularly was even doubtful of his technical process of going to that game, particularly that in a very high tactical game. But looking at the formation yesterday, he came out with a very formation that surprised most Nigerians. And if you're looking at from the defense line, to the midfield and to the attack,
Transition was seamless.
Was completely different from what we was seeing in the
Pro.
And like I was before coming to the stick, I was reading through the list of post when he said that Nigeria can see that he was a complete spike, looking new and different, and for the first time, like everything that everybody commentators have said so far, for the first time in the last 5 years, this was the first time Nigerians were able to even watch their talent with ease, with no much tension. That staring. Yesterday, I don't think in anywhere across Nigeria, I don't think there's any Nigerians that will walk off the television yesterday. Yeah. But unlike the past, when they, after watching everybody will out of now will just get up from the television and walk away. But yesterday, everybody was there to watch him to the end, and thank God to the Senado. In fact, if you look at the formations, and yesterday, if you look at the formation from the back defense, they have Aina, have through the 2 seconds, Kenneth Omerwo, and Senesu. When it comes to the midfield, the midfield, the pairing between Aribo and Wilfred was the
we haven't had that kind of middle pairing in a long time. A lot of people had questioned why Iwobi didn't start, but with the performance of Aribo yesterday, we all saw that Iwobi actually deserved to be on the bench in that game.
Yeah. Was fair, and I commend him for his courage. For his courage, even keeping Iwobi on the bench, because everybody always see Iwobi as a sure starter when he comes. Despite that he was not able to go down his chest and everything he played. But anytime he threw into the spike, he was always sure that he's going to hold in the chest. But yesterday, the ball keeping was good enough. It's okay, guys. I have a better option than you, and the better option you have is the better option you actually prove that yes, they are the better option. For the first time yesterday, you can see even Wilfred was able to play
what the real
defensive role. Yes,
he's one of the best midfielders out there in the EPL, whether you like it or not.
Not even in the world.
And he proved why he's highly rated.
He was able to shield the defense.
He was able to shield, and for a GM to perform in that manner, you must have an attacking midfielder,
yes,
who does his job correctly, to shield the defense properly, and Aribo did that job excellently.
So congratulations to Super Eagles and what we are just saying, that we hope that the tactical players they will be able to put on that. Look at the classic goal.
I mean, looking at the build-up from that goal, it was a classic. It wasn't a fluke. It was coming out right from the blast, which is the way the Eagles were playing. You knew that the Eagles were definitely going to put ball back. Yeah, and the build up to this goal, everything was seamless. It wasn't those kind of games unlike in a draw where it's like a mistake or something happened out of the blue and a fluke or something. But this was a carefully planned goal and perfectly finished by the Leicester striker Kelechi Iheanacho.
That's why I know that the senior man always refer to them. But one thing I observed yesterday in that point, and I think you also noticed it, and going forward, I think also will be able to work on his attacking, because there was a countless chances of many chances.
That game ended 3-4-0 in the first half.
If Super Eagles have scored 4 goals, nobody would have surprised, but they have more than chances to have scored that more than 4 goals. I'm not trying to blame. I'm not trying to blame him on any striker. For this one, this guy, Taiwa who went on Malaysia. It was not that he was totally disappointed. He played his game. He's present in the he's present. He's present. He's pushing actually true, and he also ensure that we didn't give the defense, the Egyptian defense, even making the attempt. Because when the defense have a free run and they will work to also support their own attack, but because they know that Awoni was always present, they always stay back. And but what is that we have more chances that translated into the game. And we hope that Ebabo and his team will be able to work on that target. And if you one thing that I'm not disappointed if you look at the Super Eagles coaches, Ebabo used to be a defender.
Yeah.
Joseph used to be a defender. All of them are more of defensive minded and be an attacking minded. But going forward, you need to talk more of the attackers and how to make opportunities kill the game and when you have the opportunity to kill the game.
Well, still on that yesterday match, former Super Eagles captain Austin J.J. Okocha has actually applauded the tactics deployed by interim coach Austin Egbavon. He said, I must confess to you that Egbavon got his tactics right against Egypt, and I'm pleased with the general performance of the team. I'm sure our opponents will definitely watch this performance, Okocha said. Looking at what Okocha said, and you talked about fine-tuning some things, and thankfully, we have like 3 days before the next match, so I'm sure this will give the coach and his team ample time to perfect some few strategies. But looking at what JJ just said, I think everybody agrees with what JJ just said, that Egbavon actually got his tactics right.
Yes, that is correct. Just what the Rossi said, that he got it right, and everybody supported him. So people are looking at it, okay, if he was to do well, but I think we shouldn't.
It's just the first game. Let's see.
Let's watch the next game and let's how we progress. And just like Coach said, that match against Egypt is going to be better. But every other match, every other team that competition, who is going to play Nigeria, who's going to play, we're definitely going to watch and look that one. We'll be able on how to neutralize that thing like what they display today. Thank God. And if you look at it so far, it's seriously minded. To me, the guy is out to prove a point.
Yeah, because he said something. He said they are going to take every game like a final. And I like that. That's kind of action we should see. Not the resting back, but every game in this competition must be like a final.
And he has proved that. For instance, a team that won a very crucial match yesterday, ordinarily one could have expected that today they should have a rest.
Yeah.
But why everybody was expected that the team was resting as early as this morning, they are already on the pitch for training. That tells you that ordinarily somebody was talking about how big is the watch is tonight. I still have to let me take it. But no, you didn't allow the boys to rest. Immediately after the match, as early as this morning, they were on the pitch. Training work is already working. He has put the Egyptian match behind him. He's already working towards Ghana, and that is how the serious-minded coach should be.
Moving on from that, still on to AFCON, where social media, Musala was practically roasted on social media. I mean, going through a lot of comments on Twitter yesterday, up till early this morning, Musala was actually a shadow of himself. Like someone said that if you were watching Musala for the first time and you've heard of him before, you would have asked yourself again, is this the same Salah? We'll take some of those comments to have them. Someone at United 3 said people always slagging Musala for no reason. He didn't even play today. Someone said Salah seems useless without his Liverpool squad. But before that match, I said something while we were doing the brief analysis. When the issue, because throughout the build-up to the game, everything was about Salah, Salah that. And I said, and Ahmed Musa actually said, when someone mentioned Salah in the press conference, Musa said, we have Chukwueze, we have Simon, we have this, we have that. So if you have Salah, we have other players too, who are as good as him.
Yes.
And coming into that game, it was all about Salah, but he was completely neutralized. Even he, I'm sure he was completely lost. He was like, look, this is going to be, he knew it's going to be a tough competition.
It's already a tough competition. And if everybody, just like before the match, before the tournament, everybody was promoting Salah as the face of the tournament.
Yeah.
But then watching his performance yesterday, some people are already, and I know a lot of bettors lose money yesterday.
Definitely.
If you go that much, a lot of bettors, those are betting business, those are into the betting business, lost a
Some
whole
might
lot
have
of
said definitely
because
Salah was going to
all
score
of them
a goal
were
or
all of them
something.
has already predicted that give the match to Tunisia and hope that Salah is going to be the tomato in chief.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Salah could not even muster any attack yesterday.
At all.
For the 90 minutes, he only managed to touch ball, barely just 35 times. And out of this 35, he only have four. He only touched ball 4 times in the Super Eagles 80-yard ball, and only have one attempt, not even short attempt, to have shot on the target. That is the Salah you see. You watch with in Liverpool, and what you in Liverpool was the nemesis of the Manchester United in recent time. But unfortunately, Super Eagles was able. Just like about you see, the plan was to cut him off,
Completely.
and that
And
plan to cut him off perfectly worked yesterday. I believe that even the Premier League coaches are
We'll
going
learn something.
we're going to study this format on how to make Salah just move, not Salah again.
And we still have so much more to give you. Of course, we also Kenneth Omero picking up a slight knock in that match, and as a result of that, he has been training alone. We'll still have so much stories to give you. That and so much more will bring to you when we come back from this break. Don't go nowhere.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Welcome back from that short break. You're still on to Sports Orbit, coming to you live from the Leadership Podcast Studio. Before I went on that break, we told you that Kenneth Omero, as a result of picking up a knock in that match yesterday, he's been training separately from the rest of the teammates. It remains to be seen whether he'll be fit enough to play in the next game against Sudan. Salifo, if Omero fails to recover properly, do you see Semi Ajayi as a proper replacement who can actually come in and fill in that gap? Because yesterday, against a lot of what people have said in the past against concerning his partner Omero and his partnership with Trus Ekong seemed to, I think it worked yesterday. It worked yesterday that we didn't even miss Leon Balogun too much. And notice that Leon Balogun, even before this tournament, was not to the Leon Balogun we used to know in the last 2-3 years. Looked like he has had some sort of a dip in form, but Omero came in, paired perfectly with Trus Ekong, and the defense was actually looking very solid until we picked up that knock.
Well, before anybody since Omero was break into the Super Eagles squad in 2013 at the African Cup of Nations. Remember, he was the one that retired in September, where he paired with Obafuna, the back. So it's going to have to people that Yobu was to provide the needed experience. But unfortunately, age was not on the Yobu side, and Kenneth Omero came in and retired Mr. Yobu. Perfect. And since that time, I always see Kenneth Omero as a very solid defender. So I'm sorry to refer to that 2013 match. The quarterfinal match against Cote d'Ivoire. This guy completely hold down the Drogba, and Drogba could not do anything. And even after the match, Drogba gave him a thumbs up. So this guy always seen Kenneth Omero as a very reliable defender. But until the Oyibo coach come, and then we now do the tag Oyibo war level as Oyibo war, Kenneth Omero become and just an ordinary player. But and if you look at that, if you look at him yesterday, he's more athletic and more mobile than compared to Leon Balogun. And immediately he picked that injury, I was a bit worried. Because the Ajayi that they brought in, I'm not trying to condemn him, I'm not saying, but I'm not too convinced about his capability compared to But this one, when I wake up this morning, what I would do, I try to check my news line. I will do this. I said, the level is up and training
So
on
that's good
for me,
news.
that's a good impression. And we hope that before we still have tomorrow and Friday to assess him before the match on Saturday. And I strongly believe that this is all myself, joking by myself, he will be able to fit for that match because we still need him for this very match.
Of course, away from that, and still on to AFCON. In the other Group D match, the other four Eagles, Sudan and Guinea-Bissau, played a barren draw in that one. And with that result, means that the Super Eagles are now in full control of Group D. Some people, we also saw this game yesterday, Sudan, Guinea-Bissau. Guinea-Bissau should have taken all 3 points in that one, but they were naive in front of goal. Even had a penalty saved, the rebound hit the bar, and the follow-up to the rebound went up wide, and that's how Guinea-Bissau lost the chance to bag another 3 points in that one.
Yes, it was unfortunate yesterday, and I was quite disappointed with the Guinea-Bissau. Yes, they have the game of their hand to take the game. But unfortunately, they have somebody who were the Pele, or a Pele at the back of the team. It was not a Pele in action. I can't imagine somebody carry a Pele being a Pele at the back of the team, and you cannot be able to do more to show.
He'll be arrested for having that name.
No, he should be arrested. He'll be arrested. So the certain Pele, but not the certain Pele from Guinea-Bissau, throw away the penalty that was able to give the Guinea-Bissau, and unfortunately that match ended draw. And just like you see, that by that result, Super Eagles are already in full control of the group. So all the Super Eagles, if the Super Eagles were able to win the next match against Sudan, they are already home and for the second round. Whatever the result of the match between Guinea-Bissau and Egypt.
But looking at these other opponents in our group, of course, in our next game, Super Eagles of Nigeria will be up against Sudan, while the Egyptians will be up against Guinea-Bissau. Looking at this group now, realistically, the Egyptians are now last in the group because they have 0 points. These guys play, so they have 1 point.
Yes, sir.
Do you see the Egyptians making it out of this group?
For sure, I still believe that that's why they know the match in Nigeria is not mean that they not mean that the Egyptians will see will never come back in. They'll still come back into this tournament and they still have a good chance. I saw them winning the next match and qualify for the next one. I don't think Egypt as well. Nothing is impossible in football, but I'm not trying to underrate this Sudan. I don't think it is okay. But I believe that the Egyptian will get it so that they will split the next game and still qualify for the next round of the competition.
All right, at the beginning of this show, we told you that the game between Tunisia and Mali also went down today, and Mali came up top in that one. Now, going back to that match, we also saw Tunisia, who had the chance to come back level in that game, had a penalty which was justified, but the Malian goalkeeper had other plans. He saved that penalty, and
it's not that person. It's there between the stick to do this job, and he does the job perfectly.
yeah, I mean the Tunisians were hoping to score, but the Malians keeper felt that look, your plan is to score, but I think my other plan is to prevent you from putting this ball behind the net. So at this point, that
the one also get the red card because the red card.
absolutely. So nice performance so far. The Africans, okay, Ghana lost in their first match, so I would have said so far the West Africans are cruising on, but
Yeah, but the matter is if you watch it so far, the West African representative this one have not disappointed so far.
good, yeah.
I think Ghana is the only team in West Africa that have lost so far. Like Senegal won their match.
Yeah, Senegal won their
Senegal
match.
won. Nigeria won their match. Guinea won their match. Guinea-Bissau also play draw. So definitely the West Africans have so far proved that okay. Have so far apart from Ghana, but no West African team has tested defeat so far from what we have seen.
Right, then the other two matches that will be played later today, Equatorial Guinea.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry for that. Burkina Faso is West Africa country.
They lost actually. Yeah, they lost. Putting on a good fight to host Cameroon, and we also had that one ended. He had to take 2 strikes from penalty spot for Cameroon to take all 3 points in that one. Of course, later in the day, that match will be starting in roughly and about an hour's time, or roughly about 30 minutes time. Of course, Equatorial Guinea will be up against Cote d'Ivoire, and Mauritania will be up against Gambia. So two West Africans will also be playing today, Cote d'Ivoire and the Gambia. What are you expecting from this match? Cote d'Ivoire, current Cote d'Ivoire squad, a lot have said. I mean, the lacking, the quality is not the Cote d'Ivoire of old. The Ivorian teams that we've known in the past, this particular Ivorian team might not have that kind of quality, but they still have some quality players. I think they still have one of the greatest strikers in Europe, in Sebastian Haller, leading the attack today. So I think they'll still be a threat.
Yes, any time Cote d'Ivoire is even though you'll be tempted to see that the golden generation of the Cote d'Ivoire has faced away all the errors of the Robbers, what
Touré,
the Touré brothers, the Conis, and the Zambo, a lot of them. You'll be tempted to say that golden generation has faced away, but it's still Cote d'Ivoire is still Cote d'Ivoire. By a mere mention of their name, also send a to the opponent.
It's still a football powerhouse in Africa.
Still a football powerhouse in Africa, and I still believe that if you're looking at this match, it was a West Africa derby, Equatorial Guinea versus Cote d'Ivoire. It's a West African derby. But looking at it head by head, and on paper, you'll be tempted to say that Cote d'Ivoire will push to victory in this match. But what you have seen so far in this Africa Cup of Nations has always tried to push bookmaker wrong, because when you hope that the bigger team will win, unfortunately you see a different team, because we have seen most of the top teams fail to live up to the chance. But on paper you will be tempted to say that Cote d'Ivoire will win the match, and at the same time you're looking at the Mauritanians and the Gambia, and I still want to go with Gambia. Still want to go with Gambia for that match.
All right, so those are the next two matches we have for you today. Definitely we'll give you the results of that one on our next episode. Still on Sport Orbit and away from AFCON briefly. So the Premier League, where Chelsea boss Thomas Tuchel has come out to say that the only way for Lukaku to win back the support of the fans is if he comes back to scoring ways. We all know that Lukaku, had through the eye of a lot of Chelsea fans and supporters with an interview he had on Sky Sports a couple of weeks ago. And that led to him being frozen out of the team for a while. But the coach has come out to say for you to have the supporters behind you again, you have to come back to scoring ways. And I think he's completely correct.
Completely correct. So nothing can be less than correct. And nothing can more than correct that statement. And I believe even without telling him, Lukaku himself to know that for him to be a celebrity in Chelsea, for Chelsea to share him and support him again, he needs to score goal. And without scoring goal, and I think his days are numbers in the support team. The only way, just like the pushing, the only way the Chelsea fans start to love you, start supporting you, because fans are just, no matter how they hate you, if you are beginning to give them a result, they'll be forced to love you back again. And that is the only way you can win their love back by something they give them. But if he's not performing, it's not giving good, maybe that his days are numbers in support.
But looking at Lukaku and with huge amounts Chelsea spent in bringing him back from Inter to Chelsea, the league has gone halfway. So far, will you say that Lukaku has been able to justify the huge amount Chelsea spent on him? Because he's yet to even hit double figures. Yes, we could say he's been blighted by injuries here and there, but the expectations with his second return to Chelsea, will you say that for now he has lived up to the hype that followed his return back to Stamford Bridge?
I want to say that certain things, it's an unfortunate situation. When he first came in, everybody hoped that it was a good investment for the Chelsea's calling, bringing him back instead of when he came. He hit the ground running, and everybody was saying that okay, sell that, and that's where Chelsea was on. At the early stage, Chelsea was on top of the league. He was scoring goals, making but unfortunately, I don't know what's going to happen. And just like even sometimes your attitude can also contribute to your failure. And he started to demonstrate the feeling that he's on top of the world, because he started feeling so very comfortable, so big that he has nothing to put in as it's like he sees himself as being even bigger than Chelsea, and that's how people. But just like the coach advice, he need to cool down and concentrate. If it's not cooled down,
Yeah.
you need to cool down. If you don't cool down, the club will be left no option than to freezing out and send it to their money.
All right, shortly before we leave the studio, Novak Djokovic has admitted that he actually tested positive for COVID-19 before he actually traveled to Australia. Remember the controversy about Djokovic, his participation in the first Grand Slam of the year. There are reports that he tested to COVID a month before he made that trip to Australia. And getting to Australia, there are lots of issues. He was exempted from vaccination and all of that. And on landing in Australia, the Australian government came up with different underhand tactics and actually revoked his visa. But after one or two hearings, I think that matter is behind him now. But he has admitted that he actually tested positive and it was actually an error by not informing the authorities, letting the authorities know that he tested positive for Omicron, but he did not inform the authorities.
You know, sometimes in this world, the COVID-19 is a global fight, and we need to unite together to fight this battle. So when sometimes because of our selfish attitudes, we tend to place the selfish game. Because what he has done so far, a player of international record of his time, athlete, he's just a global icon like himself, to do shots of an athlete. You need to do that.
And that's putting other people at risk.
Putting life of
at
other
risk in the
people at risk.
competition.
You know you are positive, you still travel all the way from Serbia to and you still come to them, you are still insisting that you want to go straight into the midst of people.
Instead of going into isolation first.
I thought his approach is not enough. And still, and sometimes the way the thing went, and a lot of people were criticizing the authorities for revoking the visa. But he insisted that it was but all this while he insisted that he didn't do anything wrong. But after the court give him a badge that they want, he's now coming out that he made an error. It was an error.
All right, we'll see how that drama unfolds. But for now, this is where we slam the brakes on today's episode of Sports Orbit. Don't forget that AFCON is still on. AFCON is getting more and more interesting. We still have Equatorial Guinea up against Cote d'Ivoire in another 30 minutes. Mauritania versus Gambia will come up much later in the evening. Salifu, thank you once again for.
Actually, we'll turn to the tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, we'll turn to tomorrow. Ethiopia, yeah, in that one. We'll also keep an eye on that one. And when we come here tomorrow, we'll give you results of the remaining two matches and, of course, the first match in Group A for tomorrow. Salifu, once again, thank you for being on the show today, as always.
Thank you.
All right, viewers, until we come again tomorrow with another exciting episode of Sports Orbit, I remain your host, Alpha Acho, and it's bye-bye from here.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.